Radio, brought to you by Pertinier Outdoors, your source for all things deer hunting and the rut here in New York State, right in your backyard, so you can get up in the stand and pound them all season long.
You got a little one?
Little dome. Which one's me? This one?
Yeah, I think so.
I want to turn me down, you up. How do I do that? Can I do that?
No, you can't do that.
Oh, that's stupid.
That's too fancy. I don't have that sort of setup.
Well, you got to work on that.
So,
wait, are we recording now?
Huh?
Are you recording already?
Yeah.
The
button's hot.
Oh,
Everybody
shit.
knows that.
Oh, wait. I was going to try not to swear, and I just did that in like 2 seconds.
Oh, what are you afraid of? Oh, that sounded good.
Always wanted to do that.
That is a double
Smells
drop
good.
tine IPA.
It smells great.
Hand delivered to Jeff Jones, the Whitetail Killer.
Yeah, let's use that term loosely, please.
Well, I mean, it's not that hard, right?
Apparently not. I mean, this is an easy game. I don't know what you guys have been talking about my whole life. I got to go hunting because it's very difficult.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you got to try this. It's the hardest thing. So,
I tell you what, I'm not an IPA guy, not to cut you off, but that's damn good.
So I've had several people say that don't like IPAs.
Yeah, that's really good.
Really, really like.
It's not, you know what I usually find when I drink IPAs is like it has that lingering aftertaste, like real long. That's kind of just like quick, hit you with the hops, and then it's over with. That's good.
Quick hitter.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. So you're going to be the first guest of
Breedinum Radio
for 2020.
If you said that in the beginning of January, would you thought I would have been your first first show?
No shot in hell.
Jeff Jones is going to have the first deer?
No shot in hell.
No way.
So we were planning on doing a podcast anyway, but anybody who's been following along with us has you were actually kind of jumped on with us doing podcasts back in March during COVID quarantine. You jumped on, did the trout stuff with us. You're a big fly fisherman. So I've been talking about my friend who's getting into hunting.
Right.
And that is you. You're my friend.
Oh,
Jeff Jones.
apparently.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thanks.
So this is I can't believe that we're sitting here and going to talk about you shooting a deer on opening day.
Yeah. It's
so walk me through this whole thing, cuz
like start to finish, or like the day, like yesterday, or like
I want to hear the story, but like just getting to this point where you go and get your license. I mean, you and I have been friends since
long time,
since high school.
Yeah,
we met in high school,
and
I have always hunted. You never did, and
Yeah.
you never really showed any interest at all. And you got into fishing. You know, you were into fishing and sports and everything else.
Yeah, I was always the closet wannabe hunter. I love the outdoors. I grew up, wanting to hunt and stuff. It just never happened. No one outside my family ever hunted. My grandfather was on my mom's side was the only one that ever hunted, and I remember as a kid just watching hunting videos at his house and stuff. And he just never really latched on. I don't know if we didn't spend enough time together to latch on, but take me out in the woods. That's neither here nor there. But I mean, I was just telling you about Sam Jones, who I grew up with. I mean, we were real good childhood friends, and we used to go fishing all the time. We would make fake bows and hang out in the woods all day and try and shoot birds and shit like that. So hunting's always been a part of me, and I kind of wasn't into it in high school. Kind of was getting back into it, college days and after, trying to think like, dude, if it wasn't I always thought the barriers to entry were so big to get into. Like, I always had all my fishing gear, and that's what I like to do. And anybody that knows me, I golf all summer long, and I fish all winter long. Like, that's my thing. And I'm not like an ice fishing guy. I'm just straight tributaries and fly fishing, stuff like that. So I always didn't want to take more time, especially as the family grew. We didn't want to take more time to start hunting and all that kind of stuff. So I was always leery of it. But once the online license came out, I'm like, screw it.
And I pressured you on that. I said,
did.
Jonesy, I said, you can do it. And you're like, dude,
what was my response? Like, I don't have, like,
I don't have time. I don't think. And your biggest fear was it, interfering with your fishing.
Yeah.
So, when you texted me and you're like, dude, I'm doing it. I'm taking my course. I'm like, no shit.
Yeah.
Like, this is, and stammering Sally over here. It just makes me so happy to see you get into it.
Right.
And that you took the course, and it's all happened really in the last 2 months.
Yeah.
Like, you just decide you're going to do
Yeah,
it.
I was like all in like July.
You listened to the podcast I did with Heritage Archery.
Yeah.
Liked Louis.
Yeah.
You know, you went there the next
Yeah.
week, looked at a
Yeah.
bow, bought a bow,
Yeah.
came home shooting like a madman.
Yeah, like crazy. I went through 2 blocks already.
Did you?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Sucks to work from home, man. Like, I got a break. I'm like, all right, I need to get away from my computer. I mean, we're sitting 10 feet away from my desk. I'm just like, all right, I got to go stand up and walk around. I go out, grab my bow, and, you know, I got 25, 30 yards in the backyard, so I can just rip a few shots, take a break. And
Yeah.
so, yeah, I mean, between listening to your podcast, which has really kind of inspired me to be part of the group. I mean, we've always been close, but at a distance, you know, it's like, you living out towards Buffalo and me living out here, we can't really get together. So it's like, I can kind of stay connected with you real well. I don't do the whole social media thing a ton of, so kind of get away from that. But being able to listen to your podcast, I listen to Rogan a lot. So he's always talking about having hunting guys on. So, and I always said if I was going to do it, I was going to do it archery. And that's what I was going to start. Like, not that I have anything against shotgun rifle, whatever. I'll probably go out still if I have tags left, which I'm sure I will. I'm not going to get this lucky.
Wow,
but,
listen to you already. If I have tags left. Yeah.
But, yeah, I just wanted to kind of do the archery thing. I mean, I fly fish. I try and go for the hardest way possible to do something and kind of go all in on it. And that was the hard thing, too, because I knew I was going to go all in on it. I don't dabble. I don't, like, how many times did I say to you when we were texting back and forth, buy once, cry once. That's
Yeah.
it. So, yeah. So here we are.
It's unbelievable.
It's not. So thank you for pushing me to get into it, because it's going to be a nice lifetime sport that I can kind of handle and hopefully get my son into it and kind of keep things moving that way. So
Yeah.
keep the generational stuff going.
No doubt. So you so let's kind of go through your hunt. So your preparation for the season, you know, like we just talked about, you ended up, I think you got your bow in August.
Yeah.
You got your bow, we started shooting, getting ready. You came down with me. We met up in Naples, maybe it was like the first week of September.
Yeah, something like that.
It was right before Labor Day, and we went down there. I had to set up my trail cameras, so you came with me, and we walked around. We had a couple hours together, and showing you some different things to look for, like, you know, what some different areas are, like why we have a tree stand here or there.
Yeah.
So, you know, in a 2-hour span, you really can't explain that much, but it was good, and it was fun to see you, like, calculating things in your mind and, like, asking questions and trying to figure it all out. And you also have property, which is where you're hunting yesterday. You've got your mom's friend.
Yep.
She's big into hunting.
Yeah, she is.
So I guess let's just, like, roll, like, so with Kim and Dave and their property, and then leading up to yesterday.
Yeah, so I had gone out with you, and then so I had been doing a lot, obviously, like I said, I go all in. So I've been doing a lot of research, watching a lot of videos. I love the Hunting Public guys. They're awesome. They're entertaining.
Have you been watching their stuff?
It's constant. Like,
Dude.
oh, yeah, I got a video to watch. They just posted one not too long ago.
They've had some wild hunts already
crazy
this year.
hunts. But, I mean, things like that. And you pick up a lot of stuff from that. And then I just go on, you know, I use the web. Again, I work from home. So if I need a break, I can search something at any point in time. So I do a lot of research that way, just kind of, and I'm very good visually, so I need to be able to see how someone's doing something versus just constantly like taking it from reading it. So I like to, you know, jump the video content stuff. So it was good to walk the woods with you because, again, I'm pretty green to the whole thing. So, you know, understanding like, okay, deer corridors, where they would, you know, walk through, all that kind of stuff was pretty interesting. So I had asked Kim if she had needed some help. She lives down in Keuka, north end by Penn Yan. They live on, they have about 15 acres they can hunt behind their house, between the, you know, 3 or 4 neighbors or something like that. So they actually had a new neighbor come in who's a lawyer, that she used to hunt the, you know, previous owner's land, and had to take a stand down because that person, you know, didn't, you know, is a lawyer. So, you know, they see liability all over the place with that. So it's not that she's an anti-hunter. It's just a, you know, liability thing, especially she's from out of state. So didn't want the injury thing happening. So we took a stand down, moved it down, and I sent you that picture of that big scrape we found.
Mm-hmm.
So we put a stand off of that, and there was one north of that up the ridge a little bit further that kind of on the same guy's property, a couple acres there that, you know, they can see each other. So when, you know, I figured, I'm like, I want to sit this stand, you know, for opening day. Like, it's a hot scrape. I mean, the piss was still wet in it from that morning. So, I mean, it was happening. So, but she's like, I got there that morning. I left here at like 5 and rolled down there. Got there right at 6, hit the head. She's like, do you want more coffee? I'm like, no, because I'll have to take a shit for sure, guaranteed. I don't want any of that. So I'm like, I want to be able to make it through the woods the whole time. So we, you know, she goes, okay, I'm going to put you in this lower level stand. So how the kind of land works, it's kind of like Naples. It's like a huge ridge line going straight up, hard timber, comes down to there's 3 creek beds actually run down the center of the ridge, and I was sitting in between 2 creek beds that went into like a lower bedding area, bunch of oaks on the bottom. And so she was going up north a little bit further up on the ridge, crossing the one creek bed to my north. And she was going to sit there. But she has a little bit higher vantage point. So as soon as I get in, she could see that lower scrape stand. And she said that there's a big 6-point that she's been seeing, a little bit older deer that we got some pictures of and stuff, that was on that scrape. I'm like, shit out. She goes, he's coming your way. I'm like, come on. I'm like, no way. So I'm in my stand like 10 minutes, and all of a sudden I can hear something chomping on some acorns next to me. I'm like, oh, if he's right there, this is ridiculous, right? There's no way. So as the light kind of gets up and, we can start seeing closer to 7, I can see this a little spike. I mean, he was a real young deer. But I'm like, if he gives me a shot, I'm just going to shoot it. Like, I got to break it in somehow, right? So he's standing behind these maple saplings, just kind of chomping, hanging out. I actually drew on him twice. If he stepped right or left, one more step, like within a 10-minute span, he was going down. Like he's 8 yards away from me. So I'm like, okay, I'm just watching him. I actually sat back down for a while because I'm like, he's not going to step out. And I'm like, he's real small. I'm not going to shoot him. And I could see some other deer working down from the ridge line for what I could see because there's so many trees still on, or leaves still on the trees, I can't see shit. So we're just kind of working through, and it's probably 7:15 at this point, right? So I can see up that there's a nice-sized doe that kind of worked her way down the ridge and was actually going to cross the creek bed and go up towards Kim, but she, for some reason, was looking down towards me. I'm like, okay, so I stand back up. I'm like, if she works my way, comes down and changes her mind, comes down to these oaks, or the acorns are just raining off the trees. I'm like, I'm hoping she's going to come down. So I stand back up, and all of a sudden, I then see what she comes, another buck comes running down in front of me. I mean, I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, well, he's bigger than the one I was going to shoot. So I'm like, I'm going to wait and see if he gives me a shot because he was coming straight at me almost. I thought for sure he was going to see me. Because I'm looking 30 yards up. Where the other, I didn't even know he was there. I couldn't see him. So he works up and he starts making this scrape right off the creek bed. Creek bed's right to my right. He's standing 2 feet off the creek bed and starts messing with this little sapling tree. And there's a broken down deadfall tree right in front of me. I'm looking through my peeps that I drew on him. Going back on it now, I'm like, I drew on this deer. It's like me just going through like my steps, like in practice. I don't remember. Like I did all my normal stuff. I did everything perfect how I should have done it, I'm looking through my peeps. And I'm like, man, my luck would be I'll clip this deadfall tree and I'm going to miss, right? So I'm like, this deer needs to take one more step out towards that creek bed. But no one had, neither deer had gone to kind of cross that creek bed because it's kind of steep right there. And he just leaned out a little bit further than he should have. And I just let the arrow go. Boom, clean shot right through. He crossed the creek bed, went 10 more yards and was tipped over and he was done. And it was like that. It's crazy. He was dead in less than 10 seconds probably.
That's insane.
It was crazy. I mean, and it happened so fast. Like I went from waiting for a doe to walk down the ridge. So
you're standing up watching the doe coming down.
Yeah, she was going to come down my way. And then all of a sudden there's a buck in my face. Like he's right there.
So how close was he?
He was, I marked the sapling at 12 yards.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so I mean he's in my face basically. So,
was it a broadside shot or
yeah,
was it
straight broadside. He actually had he was, I mean, it was just perfect. It's like a 3D target sitting in front of me.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, so I hit him. I tucked it right behind the shoulder. I went a little bit more towards his front shoulder because I didn't want to catch that tree. Like, that's my luck. I'm going to just dink it right there, just stick it right through the deadfall tree. That's just from panic or whatever. But I was calm, man. To be honest with you, I could not believe how calm I was in the execution of the shot. Like, I was just like, the adrenaline didn't really hit me until after I saw him fall, right? After he was down, I was like, yeah, let's go. But I didn't want to be I wanted to scream, right? But I knew there was a ton of other deer up the ridge. And Kim was we didn't get out because there was a ton of other deer up there. So, but I saw he was dead in seconds. So it was perfect.
When you, did you have typewriter leg going?
Like my legs moving? No, I didn't.
After the shot, you didn't get that?
I wasn't really shaky or anything like that, which was weird. I thought I would have more adrenaline with it. Maybe if I could have yelled, I would have gotten amped up more, but I was just texting everybody. I think my fingers just probably took that because I was texting you. I was texting my buddy Ron. I was texting everybody deer down, let's go. I couldn't yell. So
when it happens, so I think you'll experience it when you have that situation. Let's say that buck didn't come in,
right?
And that doe just kept coming, and she took 40 minutes to get to you,
right?
Sometimes it's the does that get me worse than the bucks because the does are they're just so methodical and they're just analyzing everything.
Right.
and that'll eat you up.
Right.
That eats me up anyway. I guess I can't speak for you, but
I bet if it would have been a longer process and I had more time to think about it, it would have definitely been a harder shot and B, more adrenaline rush. Like I literally shoot this deer, he's gonna walk across the creek, and I'm not gonna get a shot at him because he's gonna go behind the thicket. So
yeah,
I think it was just like literally it was probably less than 30 seconds before when I saw him, I drew and pulled the release.
it's awesome.
It was intense.
Yeah.
And then he was down, and I mean, I started texting everybody, and we stayed in the tree because Kim she saw the deer go down. She wasn't that far away from me. She could see down the hill, so
yeah,
she knew he was down, but she knew there was does all around her. So we're like, not gonna get out. So sat there for another hour and a half, and I kept hearing something behind me. So I was like, no, I mean, there's squirrels all over. I looked down, there's squirrels all over the place. So I didn't think anything of it. So I'm just kind of not paying attention really, and wind was coming down the hill, the thermals, as you hunters call it, was coming down the hill. So, and if anything walked behind me, and sure as shit, a nice doe walked up behind me. She already knew I was there. By the time I turned around, she was already staring at me.
Yeah.
She takes off up the ridge, screams at everybody, and blows the whole hill up. So, at that point in time, we got down and got the deer all cleaned up and got him out of there. So,
did so when you hit him, it looked like, so from the picture, it looked like it was. I guess I couldn't really tell by the picture, but it looked like the arrow was like right. Was it right behind the shoulder, right on the shoulder?
Yeah, right behind the shoulder.
Did you get both lungs and the heart, or did
just
you
both lungs?
Just both lungs.
Yeah. I was a little higher of a shot than I wanted it to be, but I wasn't going to aim low because that tree was there. So I just tried to put it right at shoulder height and tried to tuck it in behind there and went clear pass through. So
how did he react when you hit him?
He kind of just actually ran right into the creek, into that other side of the creek bed, like just buried his face and then got up and then just kind of ran across.
And then did he? Because I'm just curious because with that arrow setup, you're running almost the same thing I am.
Yeah.
And I'm just curious how that deer reacted to getting that thing zipped right through him that close.
He had no idea what hit him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had no idea. He's just like, because by the time he went down, he just knows something went off and he took off and that was it. And then he was done.
Yeah. Was there much of a blood trail or?
No, and I don't know if that has something where I hit him. Like again, I don't know, but he didn't barely bled out. A couple spots. I mean, he was bleeding good, but wasn't like big piles. He wasn't done blood. He had a lot of blood inside of him still.
Okay, so it might have been So how high up on the chest cavity were you?
Probably a little bit over half.
Okay.
Or like halfway.
Yeah, and sometimes they'll bleed more internally like that, and not they would eventually fill up and start spurting out. But if you hit him in the lungs, if he went 50, 80 yards.
Right.
Which it sounds like he didn't. If he would have gone that far, he would have started blowing blood out of his nose and out of his mouth.
Right.
But
yeah, he had no blood even coming out of his mouth. I mean, his whole in chest cavity was just filled with blood.
Yeah.
We just had to yank it all out of there. So.
See, I'm just such a huge fan of those broadheads, and I'm like that's a huge part of this conversation is that like you took a lot of feedback from a lot of different people, and you got set up with a nice bow. You got set up with a good quality arrow and with a really you're running the iron will.
Iron wills,
And you're using the 100 grains, right?
100 grains.
Vented?
Yeah, vented. 100
so
grains.
the same exact thing I'm running.
Yeah.
And they're just so freaking sharp. And I don't think, we had this discussion, we get into it, you were listening to our Bear Camp podcast. We had this discussion with Brian, Danny, and I, and Brian just like cannot be convinced that it's the right way to go. He thinks the bigger the hole, the better. But that is such a perfect example there. That deer, he may have hardly bled at all, which can be a challenge because if you don't have a great hit, you don't have some massive wound.
Oh, he was bleeding. It just wasn't coming out. It just wasn't coming out
yet.
Right.
But having that broadhead as sharp as that is, that thing. I mean, think about if you cut your finger with a razor blade.
Well, it's like I was talking about. I sliced the shit on my thumb. I was working with a customer and I was like instant panic mode. I was putting a chemical dispenser up real quick and we had to do a demo. The president of the company was there and he's like, I got 5 minutes. I'm like freaking out because I didn't know he was going to be there. I'm just there kind of whatever. And I had pulled my knife out of my pocket. My knife's sharp as all get out. And those broadheads are sharper than my knife. All of a sudden, I'm bleeding all over the place. I'm like, why is there blood? I didn't even feel myself.
Didn't even know it. Yeah.
So you think about that, a broadhead that's even sharper. Like those things just
moving
at that speed. Yeah, he didn't even know that something hit him.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm a huge proponent. So it's just awesome. Like,
and I could have pulled that. I mean, that arrow went straight through. It was almost halfway, a quarter to a half away through the into the ground, penetrated into the ground. I could have taken that out, cleaned it off, and just went and ripped another deer. It's still sharp as shit.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah.
And I'm so happy that your first experience was as clean and as finite as that was, because most people's first experience is not that beautiful.
I mean, I'm not usually this lucky as a human being, so I'll take it, to be honest with you. Usually, like, our first fishing trip, we went down to Steelhead Alley, my couple buddies and myself, and I was the last one to catch a fish, but almost didn't catch one the first day. Like, that's the kind of luck I usually have. I usually have to grind for something. To have a deer down in 45 minutes, I'll take it. Where, like, my buddy Pat, he went hunting for the first time last year, shoots a buck the first day, and next thing you know, next day he's out there, there's a bear walks in front of him, and he hits a bear twice, and they end up not being able to find it. But, like, that's the kind of luck he always has. So it's like,
yeah, take it. Yeah,
I'll take it.
Yeah, you can say, Pat, I'm just as good as you are.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
But now the beauty of your situation is that the pressure's off. So literally, like, for any hunter out there, you get your buck tag filled, it, like, relaxes the entire season. So now you can, do what you want to do. You can fish when you want to fish.
Yeah.
You don't have a buck tag until gun season.
Right.
And, you can just leisurely go out and shoot a couple does if you get an opportunity. Yeah. So you're in a damn good spot to be.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I'm on, still get out there and get the experience under my belt, because by no means am I, any good at this game, so I'll take beginner's luck and have an easy shot and not have to worry about it. Not have some giant walking in front of me for my first time. So that would have been a little bit more nerve wracking, but I'll take what I can get. It was fun.
Yeah. Every time you can notch, put a mark on the board of killing one, it just gains your confidence a little bit more, and you learn something from every experience,
Yeah, and I'm not going out there to try and put a trophy on the wall. It's not what I'm about. Want to be able to provide food for the family, and so I'm not looking out there to get 10 deer or even all my tags filled. If I don't get them all, I don't get them all. I can only eat so much. So just sustain myself through the winter. I'm used to people giving me meat, and so I like it. So figured might as well put one in my own freezer for myself and pass it out to people who don't usually get it. So
yeah, what was that experience like for you, field dressing it for the first time?
I'd had helped Kim field dress a couple other ones. She shoots a couple doe down here in town.
Okay.
Actually a buck and a doe, I think it was the last couple of years. So she had asked me to come help her, get it out of there. So it's not the first time I've had my hands in a deer, but doing it myself, it felt good for it to be my own deer, So a little pride moment, I guess you should say. But
did you put the balls around your neck or no?
No, I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't hang the balls around.
Oh, you don't do that?
Is that the thing?
It's just me. I usually keister them when I take them out of there. Yeah. That's a trigger. If Brian ever listens to the podcast, he'll get a kick out of that.
Yeah. No.
I tried cooking the nuts.
Not.
Yeah.
It
didn't go well. Because not Joe Rogan, Steve Rinella did a whole thing, like, cooking buck nuts, he called them.
Seriously?
Yeah. So
That's awesome.
I've been saying this for like years, like 2 or 3 years. I was going to do it to the guys down in PA. I was like, we're gonna save all these and we're gonna have a testicle festival. And
awesome.
And they finally called my bluff on it. They're like, are we gonna do this or not? Like, you keep talking. So I've got I know why I had an issue cooking them. I'm glad it happened because I didn't have to eat them. But I tried cooking them on my backpacking stove.
Okay.
Which those things burn extremely hot.
Yeah.
On my little pot that comes with my backpacking hunting stove. So, like, you're just putting fierce heat to this thing.
Right, yeah.
The nut exploded in there.
Oh my God.
It got real. It started swelling up.
Like popcorn?
Oh, it was disgusting.
Gross.
Yeah. So hopefully.
I mean, that's like a thing, right? Like eating like the bison balls and buffalo.
Steve Rinella made them look real good.
Yeah, I'm sure if you slice them just like they do with the buffaloes and just fry them up, I'm sure it's like candy.
Yeah. I'll wait till the day I get to meet Uncle Steve and he can do it for me.
Yeah, he cook them up for you. He seems like a good chef. So
yeah, not me.
That's funny. No.
So what'd you end up doing? You took it to a processor?
Yeah, I took it to a processor.
What are you getting?
Just doing. Kim suggested doing buying a bunch of bacon, doing just some bacon burger, doing steaks, cut my back straps in half just so I can do whatever I want with them. So
You kept the back straps.
yeah.
She took them out, or
No, I didn't. Oh,
they're
process,
gonna do
yeah,
it
they're
for
gonna
you.
take
Okay.
it for me. Yeah, they're doing everything, and then this place, she has brought me. So I'm used to getting the meat that she gives me from this place, so they could do a really good killer breakfast sausage.
Yeah, good.
So I'm gonna do that.
Where'd you take it?
Galewind Farms in Canandaigua.
Okay.
Yeah, real nice folks. They cut everything with pork. It's single price, no matter how many different cuts you do.
Nice.
I brought my own bacon because I wanted that actual bacon in the burger versus just like pork fat. So,
Yeah.
So Kim
Awesome.
said those come out good. So
Yeah.
I should have it Monday or Tuesday. So
Sweet.
yeah, excited. Throw some on the grill. You know, I was hoping to have it for Sunday. It'd be a good dinner for the Bills game, but
Yeah.
I'll have to wait till the
That'll
following
be a whole nother experience. It's one thing. I'll be interested to see what your thoughts are. To me, it's one thing to have meat from somebody else.
Yeah.
But when it's something that you physically put on the table and then
Yeah.
sitting there and watching, what hit me was like when watching my son Billy
Yeah.
eat the venison, and like it's the one thing that he will just sit there and eat, and he loves tenderloin, like
Yeah.
the inner loins.
Yeah. Yeah.
He will just pound them. So like last year when we were cutting deer, like I told everybody at the shop, like, hey, Billy loves the tenderloins. Do you mind if I grab those out of him
Yeah.
and take them home and we'll cook them tonight? And he just freaking, I mean, he
Hammered 'em.
mow them. Yeah.
Perfect.
So yeah, it's
Yeah, I'm
a
excited to
whole
see.
nother feeling.
Yeah. We'll see. We'll see what goes. I made a stew with. I had a leftover some of Pat's deer from last year. I made a stew a couple weeks ago. It was amazing. So I'll do things like that.
Yeah.
You know, so some nice hearty meals. Make a lot of chili with with ground venison and stuff like that. So stuff that lasts a while.
Yeah.
So
It's awesome.
Yeah, it was a hell of an experience. It was a hell of a morning, and it was great. I'm like, man, hunting's easy.
Yeah.
Wow.
You sent me into a tailspin there yesterday morning because I'm sitting there working, and I get the text message, buck down, and I'm like, okay, he's just so full of shit. I'm like, this is opening day, first time ever hunting. I'm like, there's no way.
Yeah,
And you
right?
responded back, and you're like, yeah, I'm not kidding. So I like try calling you immediately. You don't answer. I'm like, oh my god.
Yeah.
And I knew where you were. I knew you were over in Cuca. It's
Yeah.
an hour and
Right.
52 minutes from my
Yeah.
house. And I'm like, I'll be there. I'll be there at 10 o'clock.
I was like-
I'm packing my. I'm so glad that you were like, dude, stop.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine.
Yeah,
We got
I
it
knew
covered.
I could. It was like I was sitting next to you, just you freaking out. I was
Yeah.
like, dude, chill out.
I'm like packing all my stuff, and I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah,
I'm like,
you're not coming. I'm like, because I can
I
hear
got
your,
stuff to do today.
Right. I'm like, and I can hear like, hey, you have probably work to do, but
Yeah,
I
I
don't
have
need to
work to do.
have that on my conscience that your wife gets home and you're still not home because you're helping Jeff get a deer. Like,
Right.
I don't need that on me right now.
Yeah.
So, I know how mad my wife would be, but if I drove 2 hours to help you pull a deer out of the woods, you know, when there was somebody there completely capable. If I needed help, understandable.
Sure.
But I did.
You better call me when you need help because I want to be there to help.
Yeah, yeah. Other than shoot my first one with you, it was good to shoot with Kim. Kim was real excited for me, so she was happy.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, I would say that's because you've been around her your
long
your
time,
entire
teenage
to
adult
adult life.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's pretty awesome to experience that with her and for her to experience that with you.
Yeah, and no one else. Her husband hunts a little bit, but her kids don't hunt, so it's like
Yeah.
she was pretty excited.
Yeah, so now she's got a new hunting buddy. and
Right, she was all excited.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so I look forward to what the rest of the season has in hand for us. We'll try to link up. I know I've got. We'll try to get a couple weekends up at camp together.
Yeah.
It'll be tough this season with the little guy and Kate. I'm trying to stay as close to home as possible and plan out my weekends. But when we get towards the end of October and into November, it'll be try to sneak out for a couple.
Yeah.
Do a couple camp
I'll
weekends.
be around, and my wife knows how crazy I am, and she's awesome. I usually do I play and with COVID this year, I played a ton of golf and up early and out, and I try and do the same thing. So like whether I'm fishing or now hunting or playing golf, I'm out early. So she's used to it. She's pretty good about letting me get my space. So
Yeah.
But like fishing, I do a lot of that on my way back from work. Because I work out towards Buffalo, so on my way back, I hit all those Ontario tribs, and if I get an hour on the water, that's all I need to reset my brain. So
Yeah.
so
That's the
good.
hard part right now about this stage with kids is that it was not bad the last 2 seasons with Billy because it's one-on-one,
Yeah.
But leaving Sarah at home with the 2 kids and the prime time to be out hunting, especially early season, is if you're going to hunt mornings is early morning, obviously, and then the last
Last couple
hour of light.
Yeah.
And that's coincides with
Dinner.
getting up in the morning and going to work and going to bed.
Yeah.
So it's like shit. So it's like once it gets towards the middle of the season, towards November, I could say, I'm going to go sit for the middle of the day when the rut's happening, and that's fine. But I got to hunt. I can't not hunt. But it's like I want to go. I want to go hard, but it's like I don't want to go hard right now.
You got to ease into it. It's still early on, so there'll be plenty of opportunity, I'm sure, to hunt, and you got to squeeze it in somehow.
Yep.
So I wouldn't have it any other way. I would not have my kid around, So it's like I'll take it.
Yep.
And figure out my life as it goes. So.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, it's all about balance.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I'm good at it, but I'm trying to figure it out.
We're definitely not good at it.
No. Because we're selfish men is what we are.
Yeah.
I get told that at least once a day. Yeah. I told Sarah last night, I'm like, we should do like a weekly bingo board. Awesome. Where like we put down all the things that we normally say, like I'm tired, I don't want to go to work today, like all this stuff.
Awesome.
And then if one of us says it and it's on our bingo board, you check it off, and at the end of the week, like somebody either has to buy dinner or whatever. And she didn't like that idea. I thought it was hilarious. But
I agree with you. That's really funny.
Because it would mainly be things that she says, because I don't, I'm perfect. I don't say anything.
I would say it's probably the things that I say the most, because my wife. My wife goes up 100 miles an hour 24/7. So unless her eyes are closed, she's up working and giving me a hard time because I'm not working. So.
Yeah.
So.
Sarah and I's relationship is the flip.
Yeah.
But.
Oh, she doesn't work and she does nothing and she complains all the
okay,
time?
Don't say that. That's not what I said. Don't put words in my mouth. No, if it was up to her, she would just sleep all day.
Oh, okay. I got you.
She works hard, but she's exhausted, and she would just prefer to sleep all day.
Yeah,
for me, it's like, I think sleep's good, but I would much rather go for 17 hours a day.
Well, my wife says you only get up in the morning when you're going to do something, which is go golf, now hunt, and go fishing.
It's not incorrect.
Right. That's what I said. That's not
So it's
wrong.
really hard to argue that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's awesome. All right. Well, I want to keep this relatively short for the Breedinum Radio episode.
Have we been talking for like an hour yet, or?
Oh no, we're 31 minutes.
Okay, that's good.
So we're good. So it's a pleasure to have you in the Brotherhood, and I can't wait to see what the rest of the season brings. It's going to be good.
Yeah, man. Hopefully everybody out there has a good, safe season, and thanks for letting me join the Brotherhood. And there's a lot of new hunters out there, so I appreciate what you guys did early on with trying to educate people. And my buddy Ron, who you know, he's getting into it also in his first year bow hunting and stuff like that. So just a lot of education out there, and just trying to make sure everybody stays safe. And my wife was talking to me last night. She goes, I don't know if I want you to shotgun hunt with all those crazy people out there. I'm like, hopefully on private land, no one's going to shoot me. If I'm on public, you can be a little bit more concerned. But, she just knows the numbers too, because I've told her how many, new hunters there are and stuff like that. So make sure everybody just stays safe, and make sure you know what you're shooting and all that kind of good stuff. So
no doubt. It'll be a different year this year, but I think everybody needs to be smart themselves. The only person you can control is yourself.
Yeah.
And if you're out there, and we talked about this we did those learn to hunts with BHA. If you're out hunting public land and you see somebody walking into an area, you see somebody, be smart and either make sure that they know you're there if you're going to stay where you are, or just turn around and get out of there. Let them have that area, because that's where most of the issues are going to happen, is where people don't know other people are there, and wear your hunter orange. If it's gun season, deer aren't going to freaking see you wearing orange. Right. Wear your orange. I mean, my own family, and I've done it. I sometimes do it, not wearing orange. It's if we're hunting our property and we know where everybody is. But if you're on public, I mean, wear an orange jumpsuit. Right. It's like,
even
who
if
cares?
you walk, even I would make that argument, even on private land, even if people know where you are, just in case something crazy happens, just wear your orange on your way to your stand.
Yeah. That's why we got the Pertner Outdoors orange hat.
Thank you.
Thing's freaking sweet.
I'll pretend to Venmo you, so that.
Yeah. Oh, there must be something wrong with my account. Can't get you the money. I know where you live.
Yeah, you do, unfortunately.
Yeah. All right, Jonesy. Well, I will see you next
guys.
week. We're going to finally go catch some fish.
Dude, oh, yeah. I forgot about that. That's next week, isn't it?
Yeah, I was looking at the extended forecast, and maybe it won't get canceled this time.
Right, Jesus. So
like 50s and light wind. So
I'm in.
Yep.
Well, you never know what the nautical forecast is going to be.
you know,
I did look at that nautical forecast to confirm it was.
it was
crappy.
shitty that day.
It was.
it was
It
bad.
was right. I don't want 9-footers
Yeah.
anywhere near me. So.
Yeah. I have a feeling we're gonna go out with this guy and just slay him.
God, I hope so.
Yep.
You know, do what I did when I went out, hunting yesterday. Is no expectations and just show up.
Yeah.
And hopefully good shit happens.
And don't drink too much coffee and shit your pants.
Seriously, dude,
Mhm.
I gotta cut myself off. All right, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
That's it.
Congratulations.
Thanks.
Face that time.
Okay, you had a nice little pocket.
Yeah.
I got excited.
So right ahead of me was I had a pocket in the alfalfa where I thought maybe he'd be coming out, and I ranged that 25 to 35. It's like, okay, I can shoot there pretty easily, and at a nice kind of opening to my left, which was the field that I came down to, and right away a big coyote comes by. I'm like, shit. I'm like, there goes my hunt. I'm like, that thing's going to scare everything out of here. So, whatever. I mean, a little lesson for everybody. Like, don't give up on a hunt, obviously. And not that anybody would, but, like, I think people will get frustrated seeing something like that come by or whatever. Like, anything could walk by your stand, and 5 minutes later a deer could come by. Like
Yeah.
a giant deer. So, there's that. And I actually, that same small buck, I think, that I saw a week ago or whatever, came exact same thing. I don't know if he was buddies with this buck, but he came from a long ways away, just straight through the fields, just mulling around straight to me. And he actually got out. He was probably 60, 80 yards out into the alfalfa and came on my track, smelled it, and spooked out. So he spooks out, and I don't know, not too long after that, it happened really quick. I don't know what did it, what happened, but that buck like came to the field, the edge of the field. No idea he was there. Couldn't hear him. I was about as quiet as I could possibly be and did not hear that buck come up. All of a sudden, he kind of just crashed out to 15 yards, right in the alfalfa. Just right there, right below me. I don't have my bow. I don't have anything. So I'm like, holy shit.
He's right
I'm like,
here.
he's right there. And he's probably standing on my track that I walked in on. So he kind of has his head down. I have a little bit of cover. So I slowly grab my bow, get it out. I get my freaking whatever the thing on my hand is called. My release.
Yeah, it's called release, Danny.
My release.
Tell you're getting buck fever telling this story.
Right? You should have seen me up there.
Oh, I can't imagine.
I came so close to videoing this, and it would have been perfect.
Did you have your camera?
But I didn't.
Oh.
I was like, this would be a perfect hunt to video. I can just put a camera up in the stand. I can let it record the field, and if something happens, it happens. But I was like, nah,
Nothing's gonna happen.
Like, yeah. I'm like, the last thing I need is something to come out, and I'm trying to fumble with the camera or whatever. I'm like, screw this. I'm just gonna try and shoot. I wanted to shoot this deer.
Yeah.
I knew it was decent. Whatever. I listened to our podcast from the Adirondacks, and I thought he was 130 inches then.
We always do.
But
when
I
they're in
don't-
velvet, they always look bigger too.
I don't really care.
No.
And so yeah, I got my release on, and it's funny. I was talking to Trigger the night I got him, and I was like, I went through my head like, he's really not that big, and I was like, nah. So I was like, I don't care. So it happened just absolutely perfectly. Put his head down and turned to the right to quarter away from me so I could draw.
Yeah.
Drew and put what I thought was a good shot on him. I knew right away it was back.
But he was quartered away.
Quartered away, so
So it was
that
going up into him.
helped. Yeah, it helped a lot. And I'm glad that's how it worked out, because back where I was, I think I just pushed the shot. I pulled, I got it on him, and whatever. I ripped the trigger and just kind of pushed my shot to the back side of him. But 15 yards, it doesn't matter a whole lot, I guess. But yeah, it was so cool. I could see where I hit him, and right away I was worried.
Did you get a pass through?
And oh yeah, I could hear it slam through the other side. And I watched the whole thing. I don't think I've ever watched, other than dropping a deer with a gun, I've never watched, like, he went a long ways, but to what we talked about before, he had no idea he was hit.
Yeah.
He kind of stood there. He jumped a little bit, walked around, jumped a little more. He had no idea what was going on.
Those little
dinky ass
sharp broadheads. I'm not a believer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
did he take off running hard immediately?
No,
or
he never went hard the whole time. He, like I said, he was kind of acting weird. He'd walk a little bit. He would hop and run 20 yards, stop, and then he got to be maybe, I'll say, 100 yards. And this happened it happened in 5 seconds probably.
Yeah.
But
he
whatever,
wasn't just
a lot.
Freaking hog.
Oh no, there wasn't a head down hog run or nothing the whole time.
Yeah.
And he got to a certain point in the field and just started getting, I was like, oh yes, it's over, baby. He got a little woozy and flopped over on his back, and it was over.
Huh.
I was like, and it happened quick. We got him apart. My dad came and helped me, and I got lungs, so that's what.
So you probably came,
what
judging from the shot, you probably came in, it was a pretty high shot, but you probably came in liver and went out a lung, right?
Yeah, but okay, so here's a weird thing. I think the livers were both good. I don't think I got liver.
Uh-huh.
But he had 2 livers.
Huh?
Yeah.
You just said livers, and I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, 2, same exact size, huge livers we pulled out of that deer.
And that's not normal, right?
I know. I don't think so.
No, their livers are like.
It's like a big.
It's like a big flat,
yeah.
Smooth.
Yes, 2 of them.
What?
Yeah.
Must have been a drinker.
I had no idea.
What the hell?
Yeah, I don't know if anybody's listening has any idea on that one, but we pulled it apart, and I'm like, well, so my dad uses it for takes it for the dog and stuff. So I was like, you want the liver? He's like, yeah. So I cut it off, and I was flipping over looking for the heart and stuff, and just kind of looking to see where I hit it. And he's like, what the hell is that? Same exact big liver on the other side of the deer.
That's crazy.
Yeah. So that was nuts. I'm wondering, talking with Brian, I was saying high and back, but high and back wasn't really when I saw the actual where it went in was maybe mid section of the body.
Yeah.
And then it went forward a decent amount from there. So it ended up not being a bad shot. But I was initially, he died, and I was thinking I got maybe the big,
artery in the back,
yeah,
whatever.
big artery there. But yeah.
So from what, because I'm just curious, because we've talked a ton about, you and I especially, about your setup with the arrow, and you went with you got the VPA.
Yeah.
Broadheads is what you bought. They're same idea. They're real sharp. Is it a 3-blade or 2-blade?
Yeah, it's a 3-blade. It's like 1 1/8 inch and a quarter cut. What's different about them is it's a one-piece steel broadhead. There's no vents. There's no blades you can interchange or those thin little blades. It's a strong
steel broadhead.
3-blade broadhead.
And that thing just zipped through them. And I've talked about it several times on this podcast. It's becoming kind of a broken record, but hitting these deer with these fixed blade, super sharp broadheads and a moderately heavy arrow, the arrows are going through them so fast that they don't know what hit them.
Yeah.
that buck sounds like the same idea from the does I've experienced, where I hit these does one long, and it's like they're like trying to figure out what's going on, and by the time they realize what's going on, they've already lost so much blood, they're done. And it's I'm just becoming more and more of a proponent of it, but that's freaking sweet. Yeah, we'll split that. It looks delicious. You got time?
Hope so.
Okay.
We'll find out.
We'll feed it. So what other, how high off the ground do you feel like you were? Probably 10 foot, 10, 12 foot?
My feet, maybe my feet were at 12.
Yeah.
Does that sound? So I try to put those sticks at head height. So I like to think 2 sticks I can get to 12, but I'm probably not at 12 with 2, and I was probably at 12 because I put my platform over to the next tree, and that was different. I'd never really been on my saddle that way, so I kind of had my tether wrapped around my left side.
Yeah. You feel pretty comfortable, right? You feel tight, secure.
I felt like I could have stood there for a long time, which is surprising because I don't generally like to stand.
Yeah.
I'm a sitter. I just like to sit in my stand. So that was cool, the whole thing. It turned out great. Other than the rigmarole to get, it's not easy to get into a tree with like all that equipment, with everything you got. But once you're in there, you're able to get into trees that like I wouldn't have been able to get into that tree with much else. Like I could have put a preset in there, pre-hung something in there, but
right.
I don't know. It would have been a ton more work than it was to do what I did.
Yeah. And it's tough when you have no history with a spot and you haven't been in there to trim a tree. You know, you don't really know exactly where you're going. You know where you want to be, but you're going to get there and figure it out. That makes it tough, but that's the beauty of this lightweight run and gun style hunting, where it's like I have an hour and a half and I'm going to make something happen. You know, like I feel like that's where there's so many people that are having success early, is that they're just making super aggressive moves, and like you called your shot. Like that's pretty awesome. You were like, I want to shoot that buck. We talked about it, said here's the ideal situation, here's how you go about it. And like I'm super happy that worked out for you, because the theory to me when we were chatting about it was that, you know, like we talked about, like walking with the wind straight at your back and just going right straight to the spot where you want to hunt. So you're not spreading your scent all over that entire side hill. Yep. You're just spreading your wind in one straight direction with the wind at your back. So yeah, you might blow out that one straight section, but aside from that, you're golden. North and south of you, you're golden. And it worked out to a freaking T. Like, it doesn't happen that way very often.
Yeah, I mean, a huge chunk of luck went into it, obviously. Like, that deer, I did not know where the deer was coming out, ever. Like, I knew he was coming out in that field, but I got lucky there. And, like, I don't know. I don't want to say I'm some, like, great hunter for doing what I did, but it was just, like, we knew where he was. We talked about it. We made a plan. And, like, I wanted to shoot that deer. I'm pretty sure it was the first deer. I think it's my first bow buck ever. I've shot some does with my bow, but I haven't done a ton of bow hunting in general.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's a huge accomplishment.
Yeah.
You know, your first legit bow buck. It's awesome. And you've had quite the run the last two. Last year you were banged up and nursing your shoulder from your injury on our hunt to Colorado, so you didn't hunt with your bow at all. You had to use a crossbow last year, so you had to wait till that, and you were in your tree stand all of an hour, less than that.
15 minutes.
15 minutes when you shot your buck last year with your crossbow. And then this year you were in the stand for probably less than an hour before you whacked this one. So you're kind of making it look a little too easy, Danny.
Well, so here's the thing, is I do spend more time than just an hour in my stand.
Yeah.
I just I think about that, and I was like, well, yeah, I definitely got lucky there last year with that buck, but that stand is in a sweet spot.
Yeah.
and I might bump deer out of there coming in, but they come back, or other deer come back. So like that, I love where that stands at. And yeah, like I don't know, I got lucky this year, and we do a lot of other hunting too. We go down to Pennsylvania,
Right.
and whatever. So I don't know. I feel like I'm not the best hunter in the world at all.
Hey,
Don't
but
claim to be.
no, but
it's like
you're getting better. I
Yeah.
mean, in the years.
I think that's what it's about.
Yeah, like you've had more production in the last 3 years than you've had in the first 6 that I knew you. You know.
Yep.
So like, you're progressing, and you really, it's because you're spending more time with it. You know, like when you and I first met, was that in 2012? Like, you were a hunter, but you weren't like all in on it. But in the last 4 or 5 years, like, you've gotten more serious. We've gone out west. We've gone to PA together. You're just spending more time hunting and thinking about it, and you're starting to produce, which is pretty awesome.
Yeah, I think about it a lot, and like we talk about it. You talk about it. When you were in high school, college, I was in the same boat. Like, I was away at college. I didn't spend much time hunting. I was playing sports my whole life growing up.
Yeah.
Like, we weren't. And to me, I tend to not be really great at like mastering anything. I get okay at it, and then like I either just keep doing it, or I like move on to something else. Like, I'm gonna keep doing hunting, but like the cool thing about it is I'm never gonna master it, probably.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I like that I can keep learning it, and like I just feel like there's so much I don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know, that's cool. Like, even I went to you. I was like, I saw this deer. I don't know how to approach this at all. Like, how do I, like, what do I do here? And to me, I was thinking I needed any wind out of the north. And you were like, well, you probably hunted on a west. And I hunted on a west and shot the buck.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It was cool being able to be like aggressive on that buck. I know I probably won't be able to spend a ton of time in like October, early November hunting. So like I wanted to be aggressive and go try and shoot something, and it worked out. So
Yeah.
It was cool.
Yeah, and that's the fun part about talking through all this and having obviously we're best friends, so like we talk about this stuff all the time, but
Yep.
having like a community to bounce things off of and talk scenarios through, because if I was to, it's easy for me to look at your scenario and judge that and say, yeah, this is what I would do. But if that was my scenario, I'd probably be overthinking it, overanalyzing. And instead, I like look at it and I'm like, no, dude, this is what you should do.
Yeah.
And on the flip side, I would probably be just staring at it and trying to figure it out. So like I've got a couple different spots right now that I'm like, I've got some incredible activity on the cameras, and I'm seeing some really good bucks, and I'm trying to figure it out. But like, it's my own little world. Like, I'm the only person that's really focusing and hunting on this area, and I'm excited about it. But it's like trying to put all the pieces together, and that's this hunting thing. And not everybody's going to get into like trying to get after an individual buck, but like you did there, you zoned in and said, you saw that buck, you're like, I want that deer. I'm going to go after him aggressively. And then like, it's that competition with yourself and that game with yourself. Once you can start putting the pieces together and like figuring out, like, I'm sure you learned a ton. I've learned a ton from you having that success with that hunt, because it's like, yeah, that deer is going to do what that deer does on normal winds. And we typically have southwest winds, or west-southwest winds. Those are our most common wind. So that deer is going to do what he was probably doing that same day you saw him. And it just makes you think about it. Like, we're always trying to like outsmart the deer, but it's like the deer is going to do what the deer does. Like, take into consideration what they do when you see them doing it, and try to put yourself in the position to be there when they do what they do.
Yep.
If that makes sense.
Yeah. Just learn. Be out there hunting and learning. And to that point, what's interesting is the night I spotted that deer, I knew I was going in there because I had an east wind the night that I scouted the deer. So he was coming out there on an east wind, and in the back of my mind, I was like, well, he could actually, on a west wind, bail out of that bedding to other fields to his, call it the northeast, or the east, wherever. He has plenty of options there. So it's pretty interesting that on both wins he was coming into that same field, and the same for that other buck was coming over there. So that was all pretty interesting. Yeah, turned out awesome.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
So what'd you do with them meat wise?
So I'm gonna post something up hopefully tonight. It was cool. My dad used to cut up deer in his dad's garage, and they own the house now. So I cut it up in my grandfather's old garage, and it was really cool. They had meat hooks. They hang from the rafters in the garage. So we hung them up there. I skun them out, and I had them deboned in like an hour, which was sweet. Because I've never really, I don't know if I've deboned my own deer before, or like all by myself.
Yeah. Isn't
We
it funny
always
how you get into like what your job is?
Yeah,
Like
we
at
have
the
our
shop,
own jobs at the shop. And
you do hindquarters.
Yeah.
Like you do a great job cutting out the roast. Like you're good at that.
Yeah.
But like somebody put the deer on the hooks and says skin it. It's like
Yeah.
I don't.
Yeah.
It's not impossible, but it's just you're just not used to doing it.
I'm like, man, I need some nice sharp knives, because that was like the one thing that I was like, I need some nice boning knives. But it worked out great. I boned them out. I took all 4 shanks off to slow cook in the roaster. Pretty excited about those, and kind of the normal with the rest of it. But I took out what I was gonna say. I was gonna post. I took off a neck roast. Literally, like from right behind the ears, we took the saw and cut that roast out, and got maybe like a 6 to 8 inch roast. And the amount of meat that came off that thing was insane. Like once it all cooked down, I just got like three vertebrae came out of the middle of it.
How'd you cook it?
And the rest. So
well, you're gonna probably post
yeah,
it
I'm gonna
on
try and post something up. But 4 hours in the smoker at like 225. Then I wrapped it, and another like 4 to 6 hours wrapped in the smoker. And like I went to take it out, and the whole piece of tinfoil just like fell open and burned my hand. I'm surprised my hand's not burnt worse than it is today, because the juice came right out of the foil, because that roast had a lot of, like, it was firm when I put it in the foil. When I took it out, it just fell apart. Unbelievable. It was like picture like shredded beef, if you've ever had that, or like it was a lot. It was pulled pork, basically, is what it was. Is pulled pork, just venison. My mom was eating the shit out of it last night. She's like, "This is really good. I'm gonna take some home."
That's
awesome.
awesome.
I was like, "Yeah, have at it."
I'll have to try that.
So, oh man, I highly suggest
so
it.
You kept the bone right in, the vertebrae right in.
It's a cut that you're not gonna get that much meat out of it if you burger it, or if you don't. Like, a lot of people might not even do anything. They might just cut those front shoulders off and leave the neck.
Right.
But that neck has a ton of meat in it.
Yeah.
And yeah, like I said, literally right behind the ears, cut it out, and then maybe like 6 to 8 inches down, we had another cut, and just a ton of meat came off of that.
Yeah.
I actually bagged it up and froze it, just save it for like tacos over the winter, stuff like that.
Yeah, that'd be good.
So yeah, that's my plan. The rest I did tonight, just normal flat roasts, whole loins, cut into 4s. There's a place in Batavia, M&M Meats, that does beef sticks for the golf course where I golf, and I kind of want to take 25 pounds over there to get sticks done, because they're really good.
Is that about what you got for burger off of it? Was 25 pounds?
I gotta weigh it. I got it in a bag. So I have a couple rounds that I want to burger that I still have left from last year, and 2 rounds off this one plus that burger. So I'm gonna feel it out to see if I have 25 pounds with everything or not.
Yeah.
I'd like to get some burger off this deer, so we'll see what happens.
Nice.
But yeah.
Good shit, man.
Pretty happy.
Yeah. Fired up for you.
Yeah, that was awesome. I just like, I hit it and I got up to it. I was like,
Looked like you had some broken tines, right?
No, he's
not broken.
Just a nice small 8.
Yeah.
16 something wide on the inside.
It's nothing to shake a stick at, man. I mean, that's better than my best bow buck, and I haven't shot a ton of them, but I've shot a few. It's a great bow buck. It's
just I don't know, the whole situation's interesting. Like I love that deer. I'm so happy with it. Can't wait to hang it up on the wall. And like almost instantly, it's like, okay, like we start talking about when shotgun opens, and it's like, well, November 21st, like shit, that's a long ways away.
That's when gun opens is 21st.
Yeah, November 21st is the gun opener this year. And literally the next day, I'm like, well, I got some time. I'm going to go pull my cameras down where I want to hunt opening day.
Yeah.
And I see some
giants.
Yeah, some
like actual giants.
Yeah, that one is nice.
Yeah.
So I'm glad I stuck another camera down there, and I had some gift card left at Camo Fire that I bought earlier this year. So Camo Fire ran a sale on Father's Day, I think. For $80, you got $100 gift cards. It's like, whoa,
$23. Yeah.
Sweet.
So you gifted yourself?
On
Father's Day?
Yeah.
You're a dog dad?
It was, yeah, you could send it to yourself. So I'm like, yeah, dog dad. Thanks, Lincoln.
Yeah, it's nice of him.
So I got another, I bought another camera this week. So I wanted that camera to come in so I could take it down there. And I had another camera out in Attica. So Thursday I went to pull that camera, and I was like, well, I'm going to take that camera down to the place where I saw the nice bucks because my other camera wasn't coming in. So I have 3 down there, and I think last time I was there was August. I set the cameras towards the end of August. I just went to pull cards this weekend, and those bucks were there late August, early September. So I don't know. I'm going to let them soak. There's some corn standing around that area. So,
yeah, doggy.
Hopefully I can get down there maybe November. Like, I'm thinking maybe I'll let them soak till November.
Yeah.
Maybe take the new one I got, take it down there too.
Yeah.
Because I don't know anything about the area. Like, I just need.
Yeah, you should just go down there and just walk around a little bit.
Well, I've walked the whole area.
Yeah.
I just, like, deer-wise, I don't know where they're moving necessarily or how they are. I know late season a little bit how they move, but just trying to gather some knowledge.
Freaking honey holes,
dude,
buddy.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I just now I'm like, shit, I got a month and a half to think about. My freezer's full. Yeah. I probably have an elk's worth of chicken in my freezer right now. So yeah. I'm barely going to fit this deer in my freezer. So I just it's not that I'm not trying to eat it. We try to eat it. But,
yeah. I'll take some chicken off your hands. I'll trade you.
Yeah, I'll give you. I don't even need to trade you. I'll just give you some chicken.
Because we're always the only thing we don't have is chicken.
Chicken?
Yeah. We have fish. We have meat.
We got a lot of eggs.
Venison.
You guys go 3 eggs?
Yeah, I mean.
Chickens are laying.
Are they?
I got 3 today.
They're breeding them?
Yeah.
So you're going to be number 2 on the Breedinum Radio. I can't decide how I want to do this year because it's already getting out of hand. Because I've already got 4 or 5 stories for this week, and you can't do 4 or 5 half-an-hour stories. So I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to do, just, post this story on its own. Just do it. So we might have 4 or 5, little mini episodes that come out that are 20 minutes, 30 minutes long. Or do you stack them all into one episode, but then it's, overwhelming when people look at it because it's a 2-hour long.
You could talk a little less, probably.
Is that the problem?
I don't know. I'm just suggesting.
You're just saying.
15 minutes.
I like to talk.
Well, so.
With these headphones, I can hear myself talk, so I like it even more.
You're wielding a double-edged sword there. You got 2 problems and got to pick a solution.
So what you're telling me is I need to shut up.
Maybe.
So should this conversation be over? You're the one that poured that extra beer.
That's not my fault. I didn't know you were going to pour me a beer when I got here.
Well,
I always bring my own beer.
You do, but that is something I don't appreciate. You come to my house, I'll give you beer.
can I count on you to have enough beers
Yeah.
to keep me fed when I
I
come
mean,
over?
I've heard rumor that. Did you tell me this, or did I hear this from somebody else that literally America's out of 30 packs of Busch Light?
Yeah, so I
Did you
was
tell me
coming.
that?
Yeah, I was coming home. I don't think I told. Oh, I might have told.
No, somebody else told me that. I don't
Really?
know who told me.
I was gonna say I don't think we talked about
No,
this.
we didn't talk about this.
So I'm coming
it's
home.
getting around. I heard about it.
Oh yeah, I come home from.
No, you told me about it.
Oh
Yeah.
well, there you go.
You stopped in Varysburg at
Yeah,
C&G or whatever.
yeah. And I'm looking around in there. I'm scratching my head. I'll grab some tortilla chips. Look around some more, and I got a sign on the wall: 30 packs in the cooler. So I go over to the cooler, and I'm like, that does not look like a cooler I want to walk into. Looks like I'm gonna get locked in there. So I walk around some more, grab some salsa, cheese. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna go. Oh, I gotta go in here. If they got Busch Light 30 packs, I'm gonna go in there. So I go in there, and I think the guy behind the counter knew what was going on.
Yeah, he could
'Cause
see it.
He's like, yeah. He's like, I got 10 guys just like you that come in here every single day
Yeah.
looking for Busch Light because it's like the Busch Light capital of the world.
It's the center
in
of
this
the
area.
universe. Wyoming
So-
County, it's the center of the universe. That's what Trigger told me when I moved here. He said, "Slicky, this is the center of the universe, and we drink Busch. We drink Busch
Oh,
Light
yeah.
here."
Yeah. So that guy actually he followed me into the cooler. I was walking out with
Did
two.
he lock the door?
No,
Oh,
fortunately. I knew I was safe to go in there because people coming in could see me through
Yeah.
the racks.
so if
I
you
was
were like,
go-
if
yeah,
you
oh,
were
yeah.
dying,
I was getting
and,
out of there. Yeah.
Yeah.
It wasn't gonna be like Texas Chainsaw Massacre or anything. So I go in there and he kind of like opens the door as I'm walking out and he's like, looking for Busch Light? I'm like, yep. He's like, yep. The whole warehouse has no 30 packs of Busch Light. He's like, first time ever since I've owned this store. That store's been there forever.
Mhm.
He's like, I have never seen this happen before in my life. No 30 packs of Busch Light anywhere. So now, I caught some wind of a theory today that they're switching over to camo cans. So the theory is
that
that
makes
maybe
sense.
they're running out of
I like that theory.
they're running out of the blue and gray cans
Yep.
because they're switching over to camos.
And they might go all camo this year.
Yeah,
Because in the past, you know as well as I do that some stores had the blue, some stores had the camo.
Yep.
And it bothered me because I want camo cans during deer season.
Well, if you notice, most of those stores in Wyoming County have the orange cans.
Right.
Because they go through that shit like
They turn
like
it
water.
over.
Yeah.
But you go to Erie
You go to a
County,
store that's
Genesee
got
County,
it's got
you
the
got
blue cans. They're not
Labatt
going,
Blue
they're not going through enough
people.
of it.
Yeah.
That's what's going
Those
on.
folks are weird, man. Drinking other stuff. What the hell's wrong with you? See, now you're the one that's talking too much. So what should I do? Should I do short, individual, or should I put them all together?
Oh shit.
Did you miss a call?
Yeah.
That's on
That
you.
should go soon.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Short?
I was gonna say like if you got 5 to put in a week,
Yeah.
just some 15-minute ones.
I need to just pipe it up.
Just
ask
like-
my 4 questions. Have
yeah,
a good day.
I don't know,
But
but
that's
that, like,
impersonal.
yeah, I don't like that either.
Right.
It's not that good.
No. So we're figuring this out. You know.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to try it.
You know what
I'm
you
going
do?
to do short shots, see if people like it. If they don't like it, balk them, and then I'll
I
do
mean,
something
you can't
different.
do 4 half hours.
I could. I can do whatever I want. It's my program.
True. But to that point,
Would you
Red
listen
Freedom-
listen to a 25 or 30-minute story on your way to work? Rather than if you
yeah,
were
but
if you were to
who go-
open it up
are
and
you
it was
shortchanging the person that goes last?
no,
Yeah, true.
because the person that goes last, everybody gets their own show.
Yeah.
The problem is now
I'm
if
just
I do
saying
if I do a one group show and it's
Yeah.
even if it's an hour and a half, but it could likely be 2 hours if you take everybody's stories and put them together.
Yeah.
Somebody pulls up their podcast app and looks at it and says, "Holy shit, a 2-hour episode! I don't have time for that."
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Well, that's what I'm saying is don't
I think
talk
we
so
I think
much.
we rewrite the game, Danny.
Don't talk so much.
I think we're breaking new ground here.
Sure.
Near outdoors. We're brewing beer, raising money, doing good things for the community.
Doing God's work.
Doing
It's
God's
God's
work.
country.
God's
work.
country, God's work, drinking Busch Light, brewing beer. Too strong for us rednecks to be drinking, but hey, it gets
Yeah.
the job done.
Probably. Every once in a while you need it.
All right.
We should probably cap this guy up.
We should probably
because
crap this thing up.
We're way over our 15-minute allotment.
Yeah. Congratulations.
Thanks.
I'm glad.
Feels
I'm
good.
glad to have one less beau in the neighborhood for the next 5-6 weeks. If you know what I'm saying. You're not a threat.
I do. You know what I mean? Because that's a good.
I know. Everybody that shoots a buck in the neighborhood, I'm like,
man.
that's one less on the threat board. You know, and that just gives me
corner,
a better chance.
Oh yeah. That corner stand I got that buck in last year would have been a good spot for one of those.
Not anymore.
One of those guys.
You might as well just stay home and just bake brownies.
I'm terrible at judging deer. I need to
You gotta shoot. You gotta shoot enough to judge them.
Yeah.
You know, I'm the same way.
I know.
It's like
I get it.
In my head, I see these deer on camera, and I'm like, "Holy shit! If that thing was by me in real life, I'm gonna blow it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna blow the shit."
Yeah. Well, like Trigger was saying, I did the same exact thing he does. I was talking to him Friday. He's like, I can't draw back on a deer, or I can't get my scope on a deer because I know what's gonna happen.
As soon as as soon as the sights are on it,
I'm gonna look at the horns. I'm gonna go,
boom, bang. Yeah, that's how it works.
So yeah, at the end of the day, I don't know.
But you know what?
Someday,
4 months later, when you're eating that backstrap,
yeah, I'm gonna be pretty happy.
Who cares?
Yeah, and you need to shoot. Like I just don't have a ton of kills in my life.
Yeah,
that's one of the reasons I get shaky. That's like a little bit of everything. So I think the more trigger time I get, the better. Fading them.
Breedinum Radio. Breedinum Radio. Danny Zehler, the big buck killer. 2 sits, 2 bucks. 1 sit, 1 buck.
2.5-year-old killers.
2.5-year-old killers. All right. See you, Danny.
Yeah.
Congrats, buddy.
All right. Thank you for listening to this podcast. I hope you enjoyed today's discussion. If you did, make sure to give us a subscribe, a like, and a comment, or a rating and a comment on the whatever podcast app you're listening on. That'd be greatly appreciated and would help us quite a bit to help this podcast continue to grow. We do have some hats for sale on our website. We're in limited supply, so get them before they're gone. Go to pertneroutdoors.com to check them out and get yours today, so you can help show your pride in being a Pertnear Pro staffer. We also have discount codes you guys can use on some websites when you're shopping here this fall. We've got a discount with Basemap now, so that will get you a discount on your yearly subscription to get you 20% off. So use Pertnear20 over on basemap.com to get that. Just so you know, you cannot use that promo code on the Apple Play Store, the Apple App Store, or the Google Play Store. So you got to do that through basemap.com. So check that out. We also have a discount code with Austin over at Genesis 3D Printing. If you're buying any mobile 3D printed mobile hunting gear, any bow hangers or accessories for your sticks or saddle setup, he's got some really cool stuff. So check him out over at Genesis 3D Printing. Use promo code PERTNEAR to get you 10% off there. We are part of the Antler Ice team this year. We're helping them a little bit and using some of their product. So head over to, if you're going to get any rutting, if you're going to get any scent, whether it be doe and heat or buck scent for your mock scrapes or doing any scent drags, anything like that, use these guys. It's some local made stuff and frozen and guaranteed fresh. So check that stuff out. If you use our code and you order online, if you use our code AIPRO75, that will get you 10% off your order. And then lastly, we've got all the affiliate links set up over through our link tree is the easiest way to use that. So if you're on Instagram or on Facebook, use the link tree in our bio and click on any of the store links. You've got Cabela's, Camo Fire, Black Ovis. We've got Sitka gear on there, I believe. Trying to think of a few others. Mountain Ops. There's a handful of other companies that we've got on there. So any purchases you make through those websites using our links, we'll get a little commission, and it will help pay for the stuff because it ain't free, folks. So anything that you do to help us there is greatly appreciated. Thanks again. Have a great week. Good luck out there, and keep fading them.